Heck yeah, Brunny coming at you again. I went and did it. I finally got it. I got a real Moog. The Moog Subsequent 37. Yes, I finally got it. Hot damn. Why did I buy this? Because I've always wanted a real Moog. You can say Moog if you want, but I like the ooh, it's a Moog. Not, oh my God, it's a Moog. Bob didn't care. I bought this because a couple of years ago, Loop Pop did a review of the Behringer Model D, and I was like, I gotta have that thing. It sounds awesome, and it's cheap. You can get them for $200 now. So I got that with the Aurturia, this little sequencer controller. Fantastic device, but I gotta say today, I'm powering it up via USB. I can't power it up anymore with the wall wart. The input jack is broke. Damn it, Aurturia. After I bought that, I said, I want a bigger controller keyboard. Let's look for something cheap. So I found the Keylab 49. It is a cheap, plastically little toy type of controller, but that's all I wanted it for. You can power it up with a brick real easy. And this came with the Aurturia Analog Lab package. In the analog package, it's kind of the light version. It comes with all the famous, vintage synths. The ARP 2600, a Buchla easel, a Yamaha CS80, the CS80, really? The DX7, a Prophet 5, heck yeah. SEM Oberheim, are you kidding me? Yes, it's not as good as it sounds. You can edit the patches, the pre-programmed patches that it comes with, but you don't have full editing control. But you can't change the oscillator shapes, and you can't change the oscillator octaves. You can do that in a full-on version, but you can't do it in the light version. The reason I was even inspired to do this is I wrote a song on a patch that I created from scratch on the Subsequent 37. And then since I had the MIDI files, I was just playing it back through all my synths to see what sounds the best. The Model D, I think, sounds the best, but within a mix, you can't tell. There's nothing in that. They're so close. So I figured, well, I shot them two out in my song. I'm going to check it against what Aurturia did. And luckily, Arturia's got a patch that's similar to the one I built. I had to tweak it a little bit, so we're going to do a quick shootout here. I'm going to play them in random order, and then you got to guess. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, that's almost Prince's, isn't it? Kind of, or whatever. Yeah. What'd you think? Which one was which? Well, I'm not going to tell you yet. And I kind of feel guilty. What did that sound like? That was like, don't you want me, baby? That's what I was thinking. Am I subconsciously ripping that song off? I was working as a waitress in a cocktail bar. God, when that came out, I was a young guy. I hated it. I just hated it. And then now I kind of like it because it reminds me of my youth. Go figure. Yeah, I guess every generation likes music that pisses the generation off before them, right? But seriously, music's getting crappy now, and it's getting crappy because of computers. So why am I doing this shootout? Because I like the way the Moog sounds. Obviously, that was inspired from a 70s funk patch. The reason I'm doing this is because I probably already said this, but I designed this patch for a song that I wanted to write that is a funky, laid-back type of song. And once I had the MIDI files created, I played it back through all my synths. And when I hooked the Model D up, I was shocked how good it sounds. So we're going to do a quick comparison on the patch build here. So that's the Sub 37. That's the Model D, that's obvious. That's the Aurturia. That sounds just like, let's see. Those two sound closer than the Aurturia sounds. That's probably because of the overdrive. Yeah. So let's add some detuning. The Model D sounds a little brighter. It sounds a little brighter than Analog Lab. Here's Analog Lab. Here's the Moog. So Moog is punchier. I tried to get the envelopes as close as possible. I'm surprised how close it is, but whatever. Yeah. Let's discuss this real quick. Here's Analog Lab. I don't know if you can see this very well. I might just show you a picture. The problem with Analog Lab is you cannot pick oscillator shapes. You're just stuck with whatever the patch comes with, and you cannot pick oscillator octaves. You're stuck with whatever the patch has. So I found one that had the right oscillators in the right octave, but when I try to adjust cutoff, let's watch this. It's mapped to this knob. It's at 216.51 hertz. Hey, I want it a little lower. Hey, it jumped up on me. I'm turning it down. Why is it going up? Okay, can you hear that twitchiness? So the encoders here, they're not resolving well enough with this package. It's only a $200 package, so I'm not going to complain, but that's why I don't like plugins. The biggest reason I don't like plugins is, like, let's say, for example, when I started this video, as soon as I booted up my GoPro, it said, hey, there's a firmware update available. Would you like to download it now? And I'm like, no, I want to film this video. And so when I tried to film the video, it wouldn't start recording. There was a glitch. So I had to download the firmware, wait another 20 minutes, boot it back up, and it works, but now my display is not working. So that's why this video is going to look, what the hell is he looking at, dude? I hate software instruments mostly for that reason. You're always jerking with operating system updates from Apple or, PC, whatever. You've given the software engineers and designers and companies, you've just given them your twig and berries to squeeze and jerk around whenever they see fit. So the workflow on the Subsequent 37 is standalone. It works the best. Obviously, it's the most expensive, but the workflow is what makes it awesome. You can see almost everything on the panel, at least 90%. It's awesome. The Model D sounds great. There's no digital control of presets, so every time you turn it on, you're going to have to tweak a little bit. And the Analog Lab, it's a purely digital model of an analog synth. It sounds good. Once again, you're tethered to a computer, so if you're in the sandbox with a bunch of other musicians and somebody starts throwing cat crap around and you want to leave, you can't because you're tethered to the sandbox, right? That's a poor analogy, but it's the truth. So I don't know if I'm going to edit this out, but let's see how close the individual oscillators sound. So I'm going to turn every oscillator down but oscillator 1. There's the Moog. There's the Model D. That's pretty close. Oscillator 2. Yeah. You can hear a little difference there. What's oscillator 3 sound like? Nope, oscillator 2. So here's Aurturia's version of the square wave. Here's the Model D. A little bit thicker. Here's the Moog. Model D. Moog. Okay.